Good evening. Dunedin's Project Waitangi Committee is upset that a social worker helping local Māoris deal with substance abuse problems has been sacked by the Otago Area Health Board. The woman was appointed 2 years ago on a bicultural initiative after extensive consultation with the Māori community. She says the board then refused to allow her to carry out the job in the way she felt was most appropriate. But the board says that the woman was dismissed after much consultation because of her failure to keep patient records. If you're worried about that power bill, how about this story? Stewart Islanders are being asked to dig deep in their pockets if they want the lights to keep burning on the island. A year ago, the island commissioned a central diesel generating electricity plant, replacing individual household generators. But even though they're paying more than 4 times the mainland rate for power, the scheme's falling further and further into debt. Stewart Island's first community board meeting tomorrow will hear the full extent of the bill, but it's believed to be about $800,000. That's $2,500 for each power consumer on the island. Children from all over Dunedin went to hospital today to take part in the official opening of the new play area adjacent to the Children's Pavilion. The developmental playground cost $100,000, and if the reaction of the crowd was anything to go by, it's worth every cent. Lee Davies went to play.
It wouldn't have been a real Dunedin opening without that very Dunedin sound. The piper led the official party to the playground gate, where the ribbon was cut by former Otago Hospital Board member Vera Haywood.
There we go. We're going to duly declare it well and truly open. Thank you very much.
We are happy to declare this garden open.
Yes.
May God bless all who
sail in
it. We might have to help them.
Can we open? Well, let's just see. There we go.
Thanks, Martin.
Right, there we go.
The official duties over with, they crowded in to enjoy a festival of magic and music, and even a clown.
And they've got 2 dogs.
Although at first the crowd was timid about stepping out onto the lawn, the 2 police dogs who were part of the celebration soon broke the ice. It was an ideal opportunity for adults to check out the facilities. In future, they won't be allowed in, unless accompanied by a child.
Karate is a sport usually associated with hulking he-men. Think of all those violent martial arts movies you can get these days. The smash hit Karate Kid took a different approach, using a slightly built youngster to fill the feature role. If you thought only Hollywood could dream up such a hero, here's Ken Nicholson to put you right.
This is 11-year-old Invercargill schoolboy Daniel Johansen, enjoying himself on the bars at Tweedsmuir Intermediate along with his mates. He's a fresh-faced lad, smaller than others for his age, and with the type of angelic smile which makes mothers melt with pride. But change his gear and his surroundings, and Daniel transforms not into the Hollywood-style Karate Kid, but Karate Kid Invercargill style. It can't be verified, but we think Daniel's the youngest black belt in the world. He's recently returned from Japan, where he achieved his grading under the guidance of the Grand Master of this style, Sensei Okano. He had seen the Southern lad 2 years before on a trip to New Zealand, and recognising Daniel as maybe a bonsai champion in the making, invited him to his home country. The youngest black belt in Japan is a 14-year-old. Daniel got his a month before his 12th birthday. So, whereas most lads Daniel's age relate to karate from the Hollywood version, Daniel's well aware that the sport is very different from that portrayed in Tinseltown.
A lot different first, because on the movies there's just get out and go for it, fighting all the time.
But was it true to life as karate?
No.
When you came back from Japan, Daniel, how did your friends treat you at school now you're a black belt?
Well, a lot of my friends said I was different, but they just treated me the same as before.
Do they shy off you a bit? I mean, no one would come up now and ask you for a fight at lunchtime.
Oh, sometimes they have me on like that, but nobody really asks me.
I would imagine it could be a great coup with the girls as well at school. I mean, you're quite famous now.
Yeah.
So now the instructor in the middle is often the smallest boy in the club. Compare the speed of his movements with the others. Press-ups may be ho-hum in many sports, but try it on your knuckles. Now, this isn't the Great Oz aerobic show, so don't try this at home. Yep, he's one kind of special kid.
And I bet he doesn't have to eat his veggies if he doesn't want to. Well, it seems a long time ago now that people all over the region formed up in angry groups outside their local post offices to protest about their closure. And in Roxburgh, perhaps, it seems even further in the past because the post office building there has taken on a new lease of life. Lee Davies has been to Central to find out what's been happening to it.
Where once people gathered to protest about closure, the sign now says it all. Artist Audrey Durant has turned Roxburgh's historic post office into an art gallery, and it's evident from the number of visitors she has that the change of status is a popular one. Locals are delighted to see one of their favourite buildings put to such an appropriate use. And not only does Audrey paint and exhibit here, she also lives here. The old slides and counters and cupboards have been cleverly converted to provide a most interesting home. And it's a place where she enjoys sharing free time with friends.
And this little dog rose, the house is well over 100 years old. Dog rose will be about 100 years old. It would be lovely to paint, wouldn't it?
Audrey's painting at the moment is devoted to making botanical reproductions of azaleas, a commission she's thoroughly enjoying.
I went down to this marvellous nursery. I've never been anywhere like it in the world. And this man, Dennis Hughes, spent 20 years in creating azaleas without stamens, with just a stigma, and far more petals and the most subtle colourings that anybody could have.
The same could be said of Audrey's own eye for colour. She's well known throughout the country for her work, especially her landscapes, many of which are inspired by Central Otago.
And that's it. Good night to everyone at Victoria Memorial Home in Invercargill. We'll see you again tomorrow night. Good night.